Welcome everyone, welcome. We are doing a highlight tour of Disney's Camp Wilderness Campground. Now this is not to be confused with the Fort Wilderness Lodge. That is a separate area that has hotel style rooms. We are actually at the connecting campground, although as you'll see, the connecting road is actually closed because they are building an additional lodge. But we're going to take you through here. We are actually starting right now in the auxiliary parking lot. Now as we head towards the entrance, you can see on the right there is a trail ride check-in. So yes, there are horses out there, and there's actually a few people you might be able to see if I can zoom in. That are getting quick lessons, and then they'll be on an escorted trail ride. This is also where the transportation hub is. That'll get you to the parks and other resort areas. On our left is the check-in area where you can go and get checked in manually if you have not done so automatically. And then also on the left is the RV entrance. So if you have not officially checked in on the app and don't have an assigned location, you can pull in there and get checked in. It's also where you would go to rent your golf carts. But as we found out this weekend, you cannot wait until the last minute, especially on a weekend, because they were all reserved the entire weekend. And it's important to note that this is more golf cart and bike friendly than vehicle friendly, because there just is not a place to actually park other than your campsite. So we're at the main entrance here, and we're going to be taking a left up here momentarily to start taking a look at the outer loop areas. Now we're going to be heading to loops 2,200 to 2,800. Now these are going to be some of your basic areas because it is further away from the amenities. We are going to try to drive through most of these loops, but it won't be a super slow detailed, just more of a highlight. So first up on our left is Black Bear Ridge. This is 2801 to 2870, and these are actually kind of like your mini tiny homes, I should say, half homes. But we did have the opportunity to talk to some folks that are actually staying in these, and these are not cheap. They run roughly about $500 a night. But as you can see, there's parking for basically one car. Some of them have enough that you can squeeze in a second one, but it is not a very, as I mentioned, car-friendly area. And it is important to note that the main Wilderness Lodge is ADA accessible. And as you can see, there are several ADA accessible rooms here. And I can tell you, since we're just starting this tour, that I have seen a lot of work being done here. So, you know, for those of my cruise ship friends who are always seeing them painting and cleaning and stuff like that, I'm seeing that throughout this area too. I mean, while we were at the pool, there was someone on their hands and knees with a steel wool pad screeching out the algae buildup to prevent people from slipping around the pool. So again, attention to detail, and they do a good job of keeping things clean. You will also see throughout the parks pin trading boards. So that is a thing here. If you're not familiar with Disney, one of the big things is pin trading. And so there will be some pin boards up from diehard Disney pin traders that you can go up and trade a pin. All right, we're heading now into Heron Hollow, which is the 2700 loop. Again, this is more tiny homes. Since we went through the first one pretty slowly, we're just going to kind of roll through this one. If you are interested, then give us a comment below. If I have enough interest, then I'll take the time and slap together a 360 so you can interactively drag it around and look at all the campsites. Next up, we're going to have the 26 and the 25. 26 you can actually see right across from us right now. It's another loop of these cabins. Now on our left, we are passing the swimming pool back here. This one is less crowded than the other one for sure. The main pool up in the Meadow area where we are is insanely busy. All right, so again, this is our 2600 loop, which is more cabins. Yep. And they do have dedicated loops for pets, so just make sure you let them know ahead of time if you have a pet so you get put in the proper loop. Also, every single campsite will have plug-ins for golf carts. Whether it's on the homes like they are here or on our actual campsite, there's a pedestal with the number near the front of the site that has the plug-in for the golf carts. All right, that was the 2600 loop. We're going to zip straight across into the 2500 loop. Now we're heading into Mallard Trail, which again is the 2500 loop. All right, next up we're at Dragonfly Meadow, which is the 2400 loop, and again this is more of the mini cabins. And make no mistake about it, the campground area is freaking massive. So if you're in one of these outer loops, you may as well build into your budget the $82 a day, because I think it's 75 plus tax, so it's roughly 82 or something like that a day, to rent a golf cart if you don't have your own, or bring bikes. Now technically, on the list, it says pedal assist and e-bikes or e-scooters are all prohibited, but let me tell you, almost every bike I see around here is an e-bike or an electric powered one. But I get their why, because the paths are twisty-turny and sometimes narrow, and so going at a high rate of speed, it could be dangerous, and it crosses the road a lot. We are at the 2300 block, Otter Creek Cabin Loop. It looks like all these cabin areas are all, in the same main run. So you just got, about 6 or 7 loops. And it looks like the last one is the Whitetail Way. This is the 2200 loop. And I think this is the last cabin loop, and then everything else is going to be actual camp and RV sites. All right, next up is Bobcat Bend. This is 2100 loop. This is your first RV/campground area. So here is your first comfort station. It's a walkway through the woods there. It's basically your bathrooms, laundry, and there's ice there. And from what we saw, it was $2 per bag, which is not bad. You also do have Wi-Fi, and every pedestal appears to have 2 outlets for water. You've got a 30 amp and a 50 amp hookup, as well as regular 110 hookups. And every pole at the bottom has a coaxial cable for cable. Of course, how to get said coaxial cable to your rig is fine, but then there are not a lot of TVs that have a coaxial hookup for you to then get said cable signal to your actual TV in your rig. Yes, in this loop right here, Mel made a very good observation. These do seem to be a lot tighter than the loop that we're in, but again, we did pay for premium sites, which are closer to the action and, as it appears, further spaced apart in between your neighbors. And so far, all of these are back in. I have not seen one yet that's been a pull-through, so as we do our loops, we'll see if there is one. All right, next up is the 2000 loop, which is Spanish Moss Lane. Now these sites as well, since these are going to be, I guess, your more budget-friendly sites, it does look like you have a little bit of a pave getting into it, but then the actual site that your rig sits on is rock. There are lots of trash cans throughout the whole area, as well as recycling bins. So you can see this one has a mixture of RVs and then regular tents that they've staked down. And they do appear to be shorter sites than what we have up in the more premium areas. Here is a better look at a comfort station. So these are going to be periodically spread throughout the different loops. So on the right here, you can see Bus Stop 2000, which is a 2000 loop. Now straight ahead of us is normally where you can go to connect to the main Fort Wilderness Lodge area, but it is closed because they are building an additional lodge with more resort rooms. So to get from the campground to the main one, you actually have to go back out to the main road and loop around the outer versus a quick road within the park. All right, so we're going to head back up towards the main road, and then we'll come back at you as we start our next round of loops. All right, we're heading into loop 1900, which is Wagon Wheel Way. Say that 3 times really fast. Wagon Wheel Way, Wagon Wheel Way, Wagon Wheel Way. Yeah, definitely more space in these. I mean, look at this big gap right here. 1909. All right, and then the last loop in this little offshoot is the 1800 KOGA Trail. No, looks like they're still partial. They extended them by adding some gravel at the back. Some of them are pretty short too, because that one has gravel in the back, but that's specifically for sitting because they had a big railroad tie blocking off the back of the area. First up is actually the 1700s, which is Hickory Hollow. Mel did observe this one is a little more space in between the rigs. Yes, that is your trade-off. It's part slab and then extended by gravel for longer rigs. All right, we are heading across into the 1600s, which is Timber Trail. Yep. Remember, it's Disney. Lots of kids, so just be very, very defensive when you're driving. And if you do have a golf cart or you do have an e-bike or one of those power scooters, just be smart about it. Stay on the very low gear. Just be smart if you're going to do it. All right, so we are now rolling up past. On our right is the main swimming pool, snack bar area. As you can see, they do have a water slide, if you can see it that far. It's also where they have the campfires, and they are doing major work to expand that area. So we are now going to head into the 1500 block, which is Cottontail Curl. A comfort station over there to the right. Yes, this is a mixture of short pads with extended gravel areas. Again, more suited for tents, because at least with tents you can stake it through find the little notches in between the gravel. Yeah, this does have a lot of good sites that are underneath the trees if you're looking for that shade, which is definitely going to be a plus if you don't have an RV with an air conditioner. We are getting there, folks. We still have a couple of loops left, but as you can tell, we are in a pretty darn big campground area. All right, so we are heading in 1200 loop, which is Dogwood Drive. This definitely looks like a dog loop as well. So the 1200 is a dog loop that you can stay in. All right, so now we're going to pop right over. In this same area is loop 13. So this is Tumbleweed Turn. Looks like we have a comfort station right out the get-go here. So again, they have bathrooms, showers, laundry, and ice machines. Now here, we can see we've moved into a padded area because all of these definitely are concrete all the way back. And then there's a little playground here with a couple of slides, basketball court, and it looked like a little potential volleyball area at the corner of my eye. Yeah, little beach volleyball. All right. And again, you'll notice throughout this area, there is an internal bus system that you can take if you do not rent a golf cart or you do not have bikes. And it's going to be like the transit system anywhere at Disney, where the buses will just come around and you get off on the stop that you need to get off on. All right, off to the right here is our main entertainment hub, if you will. But first, over in the 1000 loop, Raccoon Lane. That's a big Class A. All right, we're in the main loop area here, or the main through street. We're going to hang a left here and head into the 1100 loop, which is the Possum Path. Now we're starting to move into more premium sites because we are starting to zone in on the main amenities near the center of the campgrounds. As you can see here, people who are super duper diehard Disney fans do a lot of decorating. And it's definitely not impossible to get back into these areas, because really the way that they have it looped does make it easier to maneuver in, but there are still a little bit of tight areas here and there. But so far, still no pull-throughs, all back ends. There's another path to a comfort station. Okay, next up is Quail Trail. This is the 900 loop. Comfort station is immediately on your left when you enter. Little basketball court here on the left as well. Also a little tetherball area. All right, we're kind of in a holding pattern for a moment because of the truck in front of us. Let's see if they're moving out or if they're trying to back up. Hang on for a second. Now that's cool. Haunted mansion setup. Oh, that's a TV thing. Yeah. All right, next up is the 800 loop, which is the Jack Rabbit Run. This is actually the one we are staying in. So there might be a slight interruption in the views as we do a quick pit stop. But these do have concrete padding all the way down, with a thin run of rocks on the exterior. There's CJ and Christine right there. And we are coming up to ours right here. So it'll be about a half a second and then we'll continue the tour. All right, over here is the one and only comfort station in this 800 loop. Can be accessed from both sides of the loop. One of the other things I've noticed is most of these loops, not all, but most, have an automated external defibrillator emergency kit somewhere on site too. All right, we're doing the 700 loop, which is the Cinnamon Fern Way. Well, Jiminy Cricket. Now again, all of these are going to be premium lots because you're basically right across the street from the main pool area. And there's two big areas. There's the central pool area that also has the movies underneath, the campfires and the s'mores and things like that. And then you have the beach area and the main restaurant area that's combined. Now the main beach area is where you can go and look across to the main Walt Disney World Park, and you can actually see the fireworks for sure. And we're not so sure if you can see the electric night parade, to let you know, because we're going to go try to watch it tonight. All right, next up is the 600, which is the Sunny Sageway. And one of the things that we've noticed seems to be a unspoken trend here is people are taking blow-up pool floats and bungee cording them to the top of their go-karts. We've seen lizards and penguins and chickens. Quite comical, actually. All right, on the right is Loop 500, which is Buffalo Bend. However, they are doing maintenance on every single one of those sites, so we will not be able to go there. But we are going to hang a left and go to Cypress Knee Circle, which is the 300 loop. So far, I really have not seen a bad site. Yeah. All right, this time I'm going to keep you guys rolling as we leave this one, because on our left will be a little playground as well as the dog park, and the dog park is broken into two segments. You've got a small dog park area, and then a big, under 30 pounds is the small park, which is where we had Peach. And then the other one is your large dog. And it's, the large dog's definitely a much bigger space and actually has better tree coverage. But there you go, dog parks. And it is PG approved. Okay, next up we are heading into the 1400 loop, which is the Little Bear Path and Big Bear Path. And there's a tetherball right here to our left. And then we're going to go to the Big Bear Path, which seems to be the outer loop. And then they have a little cut through in the center that they utilized some space in there for camping as well. And we just passed one of the pathways that will take you down towards the main swimming pool area. And as you can see, they actually pressure wash every area once the previous resident, or rental person I should say, is done. I don't think it's every time, because there was sidewalk chalk on ours. So Little Bear Path, we're just going to bypass that, folks, because it's literally a straight shot in and out, and it's just more camping sites. So we're not actually going to go into that area. All right, we're doing the 400 loop, which is the Whispering Pine Way.
Notice on the cabin you go left 40 ways, and on the campsite you go right.
Yes. Might be easier to back up going right.
Not as much shade cover here.
Yeah, this is definitely a little more open as far as foliage. All right, that was our 400 loop. Now we're going to zip across the street, which will be the 100 and 200 loop. So again, these are like prime to the main restaurant areas and stuff like that. So we are heading into the Bay Tree Lane and the Palmetto Path. So Bay Tree Lane is going to be your 100 and Palmetto Path will be your 200. So we're going to do Palmetto Path first. Little basketball area. Although these are considered super prime, they're kind of a smaller space in between you and the neighbors, and it's not concrete all the way to the back. Looks like they started out to be short, but as things got bigger and longer, they just added an area with crushed rock behind to extend it. But there definitely are some shady areas, yeah. All right, so again, we're now heading into the 100 loop, which is the Bay Tree Lane. This one does look like it is pet friendly as well, because I am seeing some. And here's a good example of the pin trading boards. And they are able to get some massive rigs in here for sure. Oh, look, there are a couple of cabins mixed into this loop. That's the first time I've seen a mix. All right, next up on our tour, we are going to the Meadow entertainment area, if you will. So this is where you can rent your bicycles, you can rent kayaks, and then they do have the pool area here. Now your premium sites are going to be ringing this area fairly closely, and you're paying that extra money so you're not too far from the action. Now this is also where they will have your campfires, community campfires I should say, and other entertainment like movies under the stars and things like that. So down over here to our left, we actually have a mining area, and you can go purchase dirt and then come over here and do your old prospecting. All right, as we continue on from that little prospecting area, this is where you can rent your fishing gear. Here are some of our costs. So it looks like that pay dirt runs from $10.49 for a small one up to $33 for the mother load. And it looks like it's $8.50 per 30 minutes for kayaking, roughly that for canoeing. Your bicycle, 20 bucks a day. And then there's some deer, as well as some firework cruises. Looks like we also have some bass fishing excursions, back trail adventures, and archery. So, a couple of cool little things here that you can set up and do. There are your different sizes. The mother load. Yeah.
I'm loving it.
Yeah. All right, so here's where your kayaks are and your canoe. And then there's Chip and Dale. All right, here is your campfire. So they will flick this on and then you can come with your s'mores to do your thing. And then here is where you'll have a mercantile show and then the big old whiteboard to watch Disney movies underneath the stars. And you can see here they've got stadium style seats that are metal and look very, very uncomfortable. So if you're gonna come, I would say bring some padding, unless you like hard metal benches. And then they do have handicap area here for, you know, wheelchair. So it is marked off, as you can see here, to make sure that you can get your wheelchair here and then have room to enjoy the show as well. So we'll see. We'll see if we catch any live shows. I know they have some movies coming up, some Stitch and stuff like that.
Somebody actually read the instructions here today.
Ah.
Campfires from 7:30 to 9:30 nightly. And then at 8:40 starts the movie Under the Stars, and the schedule is posted at the marquee of what movies.
Yep, but it will be wood fire.
It is wood fire.
Anyway, let's go take a look at the pool area and snack bar. As we head towards the pool area, they do have some shuffleboard areas and lots of golf carts. When we were asking about it, they actually do encourage you to try to get golf carts and not drive anywhere. And we also have some cornhole and then super big checkers. So there's a lot of little things to do here. One last look at the mining facility. All right, continuing on. All right, we are now in the Meadow swimming pool area. So you can see here on one side, we have ourselves a nice ping pong. And then you have your drinks over here you can get. But I guess we have to rent a ball.
I didn't bring my ping pong ball.
Here is your pool table. There are actually pool balls in here, unlike the other one that had no ping pong ball. But there are pool balls here. So you have your little snack bar. So there are some adult beverages, and then you have chicken sandwiches, chili dogs, pork sandwiches, ice cream. And then from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m., you do have a little arcade here. So a couple of things that you can do here. Not bad. I mean, it's got a little bit of, different entertainment items. So we'll do this really quick. I don't want to get too many kids, but you do have a kid area right over here. Lots of little things for them to play. Your big pool area with a little water slide there that you can take to come down, and it looks like they've got some construction going, so they're going to be expanding this here in the future. And then a bunch of loungers with a couple of umbrellas here and there. So as you guys saw back there, quick walk around of the pool area. So there's definitely some things to do here. A couple of different sporting things, but as typical, it's mostly going to have an additional cost, except at least the pool's free. But
towels cost $10.
Towels cost $10. But most of the other stuff here does cost extra to rent some of the sports equipment, the fishing gear, and things like that. But again, it's one less thing to have to haul down here on your own, especially if you're coming down and you're having one of those little half cabins. Then you can just come out here, rent a kayak for a couple hours, rent a canoe for a couple hours, rent a bike, hop into pool. Some pretty cool stuff. But that's a lot of kids, so not so sure that I'm gonna be coming back to get in the pool. All right, so the trading post, at least today, 8:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. So let's go take a look and see what we got. Of course, since it's a Disney property, you're gonna have a lot of Disney logo merchandise, a lot of stuffed animals, Stitch, bunch of Disney merchandise. That'll be everywhere. But here's the s'more station, and good to know they do have adult beverages if you like to partake. But here you go, this is our s'more station. So there you go, pretty long sticks, and then you got your graham crackers, your marshmallows, as well as your chocolate. But yes, all of your camp stuff. You can get yourself some Mickey Ears ice cream bars, those are always good. And then your adult beverages as well as other beverages. Hey guys, they have Mickey ears. Right over here. Well, there you go. That was a quick walk of the trading post, which dubs as the camp store and your Disney merchandise. All right. You know, guys, I can tell you that if you come here, they have got a million freaking rules here. I mean, we're talking, they have pictures of approved fire pits that you can have and unapproved. So your normal $50 ones that you would get from Home Depots that have the little grate on top, yeah, not approved. You have to get the ones that are like $500 or $600. They actually were saying that on paper, pedal assist and throttle assist bicycles and scooters are technically banned from the property as well, although I see them everywhere. So they're not enforcing that. But it does say specifically that it is manual pedal only allowed for bicycles. But we'll see. Also, important to note that if you're in the campsite area and you prefer to go into the bathrooms in the comfort station, they lock the doors at midnight and they don't open up again until 6 a.m. And the only way to get in is either have a linked magic band, or when you check in, you need to ask for a card and they'll encode it for you. Then you can get in and out of the bathrooms between midnight and 6 a.m. All right, we're at the end of the main run, so straight ahead is where we're going to access the secondary entertainment area, which is the Pioneer Hall, the Hoop-Dee-Doo Revue, which is kind of a dinner theater, the Trail End Restaurant, and a few other of the actual food and shopping centers. So let's go take a look. All right, so we're actually starting at the very back of the Pioneer Hall area. We're currently at the Wilderness Marina. This is where you would come to take the complimentary ferry shuttles from Fort Wilderness Campground over to the Magic Kingdom. Right in front of us there is the island
And then the contemporary resort, you can just make out the top of it. And then diagonal that way is where the castle is for Magic Kingdom. So this is a great place to catch the fireworks. We saw it during our stay here, and I'll link below to the vlog series, and you can see the fireworks, and also the lakeside electric parade comes here at night after the fireworks and does a little performance as well. But again, there are two docks that you can take. There's big ferries and there's small ferries. Now, as we continue walking back down to the docks, over to our left here is where they have the pontoon boat rentals. So you can rent those for the day, for a half day. You can also do some fishing. And if you want a tour guided fishing, then they have those options as well. Gives you a better chance of catching them fish. Now, as we continue back into the Fort Wilderness area, immediately upon exiting the pier on my left here, this is your complex setup for getting the rentals for the boats and things like that. There's also some cornhole here on the beach. And then as we look over here, there's another beach area with lots of Adirondack chairs that you can sit down and take a look. Now, in the past, you used to actually be able to swim here, but there's a gator problem. And years ago, there was a story about a kid that unfortunately was attacked by a gator. And after that occurred, all beaches to any of the freshwater that wasn't controlled by like a pool kind of setup has all been blocked off. It's unfortunate, but that is what happens when you are in Florida. Even pools sometimes become homes for gators. So if you're coming down here to the Disney area, do not swim in any of the freshwater lakes unless you see very clear instructions that says that it's okay to swim, because more than likely there's going to be a gator. Now, on my left coming up, this is the settlement trading post. Now, I'm not going to walk through there because you've already seen the trading post in another part of the park. This is basically going to be the same setup with Disney merchandise. It looks just a little bit bigger than the other one.
Okay, Ryan skipped the trading post, but you ladies out there, you know you want to see inside of the store, so I'm going to take you in there because I want to pop in there and see if they have anything different from the other stores. Hello. Got that bear again, and then these are pretty cool. More prevent the wildfire smoky bears. Got some Mickey and Minnie stuff. Some toys for the kiddos. Ooh, these are cute. They got little journals. And they got a nice little cold freezer section back in the back with some drinks and stuff. And actually some wine and beer. And frozen pizzas again. So pretty similar merchandise the other store that we saw. Cute hats.
As we head towards Pioneer Hall, there is a playground here for the kiddies. A couple of swings, couple of slides. And there's some picnic tables for the adults to sit around being bored while the kids have fun playing. Now, the area I'm standing in right now, I do want to say there is no car access to get here. The only way is to walk, to bike, or to have a golf cart, because there's plenty of golf cart parking. And you can see there are a ton here. People bringing their golf carts from the campsite, parking here, and then taking the boat ferry across to get into the Magic Kingdom. Now, as we continue on, we are looking at Crockett's Tavern. which is beer, wine, and cocktails. So they do have a walk-up window, and here's a couple of options to go. They do have some zero proof cocktails as well as full flow alcoholic. And it looks like it might be open, so let's go take a walk inside and see the inside. All right, so we're walking here in the Crockett's Tavern, so you can see they do have some high top areas, they do have some bars, and then they do have little sit down. And then there is an upper restaurant as well. That's right above. We'll go walk and take a look at that. So here you are. More food and beverage options. Looks like they have pizza by the slice, super slice, or by the pie itself. A couple of quick to-go items. They do have ice cream here and specialty coffees. Here are a couple of examples of the fare you can get. Buckaroo bread looks a lot like monkey bread. Mickey Mouse cinnamon buns. And then the Mickey Mouse waffles are amazing. But this is our Crockett's Tavern. So there's a slight upper level here. Old school arcade games, wow. Pac-Man, Galaga, nostalgic. And then down here, we have our more modern games. All right, let's head up to the main Pioneer Hall. And I take that back, I apologize. The upper area that we were walking to is not Crockett's Tavern, that's just the lower area. The upper area is Trail End's Restaurant. So here is the entrance to Pioneer Hall. Now this is a food and comedy show. It's about $80 a person for adults. That does include unlimited alcohol, which is basically beer, wine, and sodas. But it's a Southern cuisine, fried chicken, smoked barbecue, and then kind of a slapstick comedy music, Southern review show while you're eating. So pretty cool option to see. We did not actually go to this one. We went to a different restaurant over at the main Fort Wilderness Lodge. But this one looked like it would have been pretty funny and amazing to see as well. Now there are some restrooms out here, as well as a few cabins that are right up here by the front. And actually, I'm gonna go see if these are cabins that you can actually walk through, because I did see something talking about model cabins. So let's go take a look. These are actually all locked up, but I'm gonna do my best with my phone with the reflection so you can at least see. So this is the kitchen area of these cabins. Table is enough to sit 4. Let's go down to the living room area. So here's our living room area. You can see there's a couch there. What you can't see is on this side closest to me, there is a single chair. So an area for 3 people to sit. Let's see if we can get access to look at any other rooms from the other windows. We do have a little bit we can see. I'm sorry for the mesh, they have a screen here. But it looks like this particular room has bunk beds, as well as a bed here on the bottom as well. Looks like a full, potentially. I'll see if I can get the other side, but we might not be able to get the master. Fortunately, all I had were those 2 windows, so I didn't have the ability to get a video of the master bedroom, but my assumption is it's either a king or a queen on the other side, and then a bathroom that's either a single or a double. I'd actually have to research, but it is a nice little cabin. They are pricey. We talked to someone that said it's basically $500 a night, depending on where you're gonna stay. So it's an option if you want to experience the camp wilderness. And actually for, you know, Disney costs $500 a night for a family of at least 5 is not too terrible, especially being such close proximity to Walt Disney World, being able to see the fireworks every night and things like that.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching this tour of the Disney Fort Wilderness Campsite. We hope you guys have enjoyed it. Before you head out, make sure to hit that like and subscribe. We do appreciate it. And if you're looking for ways to help the channel continue to grow, hit that join button. Find out more about becoming a member. We'll see you next time on The Scenic Route.